In the fall of 1997, Laura Camden returned to her hometown of Auburn Hills, Michigan, to settle the estate of her late aunt, Margaret, an old woman she barely knew who died alone in a decaying Victorian house on Ash Lane. The house stood like a corpse in wedding gray, siding flaking off like skin, windows boarded up from the inside, and an iron gate that screamed when pushed open. Laura wasn't superstitious, but something about the house made her uneasy. The cold inside wasn't from the October air. It felt heavier, thicker, like grief had soaked into the wood. She stayed in the guest bedroom that first night, surrounded by relics of another life, porcelain dolls with cracked faces, dusty lace, curtains, and a grandfather clock that still ticked, though no one had wound it in years. At 3:17 a.m., the clock chimed 13 times. Laura sat bolt upright in bed, her skin prickling. In the hallway, a faint creaking like footsteps echoed in slow, deliberate intervals. The next morning, she chalked it up to old wood and her imagination. But when she reviewed her aunt's papers, she found notes scribbled in the margins of a Bible. The girl is still here. She never left. Digging deeper, she found a yellowed newspaper clipping dated 1956, reporting the disappearance of a 9-year-old girl named Alice Renner, last seen playing in the woods behind the property. Neighbors refused to speak of the girl or the house. One elderly man muttered, "Margaret knew what she was keeping in there. She kept feeding it." That night, Laura heard giggling beneath the floorboards. When she peeled back the rug in the hallway, she found a wooden trapdoor nailed shut. Against every instinct, she pried it open. A ladder led down into darkness. The air that wafted up smelled like mildew, rot, and something older, something sweet and wrong, in the basement. Her flashlight caught glimpses of disturbing murals painted on the stone walls, childlike drawings of a girl with hollow eyes and others with their mouths crossed out. At the far end stood a child's rocking chair facing the wall. It rocked gently. Laura hadn't touched it. Suddenly, the door above slammed shut. Her flashlight flickered and went out. In the pitch dark, Laura felt small fingers wrap around her wrist. She screamed, scrambling up the ladder. When she burst into the hallway, the house felt colder. Every mirror in the house had shattered. Determined to flee, she tried the front door. It was gone. Where the door once stood, there was only wall. She was trapped. But the girl Alice was not trying to hurt her. Through whispers in the air and cold fingers guiding hers, Laura discovered the hidden diary of her aunt. Margaret had made a pact in desperation. She had lost her own daughter in a fire decades earlier. In her grief, she invited something dark into the house, something that promised to bring her child back. But the entity brought Alice instead, trapped her, fed off her pain, and used Margaret as its host. And now, with Margaret gone, it wanted Laura. Laura realized she had one choice: finish the ritual and sever the bond or stay forever as the entity's next guardian. She succeeded barely. The house was demolished 2 weeks later, but locals say on cold nights, children still hear giggling from the empty lot on Ash Lane. Laura never spoke of it again, but she never left Auburn Hills either.